Yeah, hi everyone, good morning and welcome to the third session of this webinar series. In the previous sessions, that is the first and the second session, if some of you have attended, I can see some of you here from the first session onwards. That's very encouraging and also nice to know that you found the sessions useful. In the first one, we were looking at the big picture of NEP 2020, the National Education Policy, which has brought in a few changes and also many recommendations for the teachers to play a very big role in a rather autonomous fashion. And that creates amazing opportunities for teachers, whether you're a vocational trainer or you're a teacher at the school or the college level, or you're a professor who's mostly involved in research. So it has a lot of scope and opportunities. So the first session was about that. In the second session, we looked at few skills which are absolutely important for each one of us when we take up the role of a teacher or a facilitator in a school, college, or university. So that was the second session. And in case anybody has missed these two sessions, the videos of these two sessions are available on our YouTube channel. And as you know, we are also live on YouTube channel. And I request you to make this an interactive session where you can participate, by unmuting yourself, asking questions or responding to few questions that I might be asking during this session. So thanks once again for joining. I'm Madhuri. I am the founder director of National Skills Network. With my experience of about 27 to 28 years in the area of teaching, research, marketing, and technology, I started National Skills Network, NSN. It would be interesting if you go and look at our website, or I might also be giving you a demo if we have time towards the end of this session. Our whole objective is to create awareness about the need for work-integrated education, how skills are becoming more important than just academic learning, which is again also the essence and the philosophy of the new education policy, considering the economic development of the country and the national challenges we face as a country being so diverse with so many requirements for education. So that's the background in which we created this webinar series. So I would like to get started by sharing the presentation for today. I hope it's visible. Yeah. So the focus of this session is technology and how technology can play a big role in scaling the impact of teaching and learning. When I use the word scaling, I'm saying, how it has to reach more people, how it has to reach people in a sustained manner, and how it has to create a deeper impact among the learners. So, as I just told you, the challenges we face in India with teaching is that we are a very diverse country, as you know. Every location has its problems. It's not like we have the same kind of schools everywhere or we have the same kind of infrastructure everywhere. This kind of diversity can be addressed by using technology. So that's the belief we have. And so together, let us explore how this can be done. So I had just summarized the first two sessions for you, and the third one is about technology for scaling the impact. So I'm using this slide in every presentation of mine. These are the words which we picked up from the education policy, where it's talking about the important role the faculty is going to play, who actually the faculty is the pillars of any educational institution, whether it's an online virtual kind of a EdTech setup, or if it's a physical building where we all have staff rooms and things like that. It is the teacher the trainer, the vocational teacher, vocational trainer, you are the pillar. Without you, the structure will not exist. So that's the kind of importance we have for this role. So empowering the faculty through innovative ways, encouraging the faculty to do research, all these are things which will really transform the way we teach, especially in an age where there is a lot of digital transformation happening in teaching learning. So the 21st century classroom, which we are trying to look at, is a classroom where students have a lot of access to information, as you know. They can just watch a YouTube video and feel that they have learned something, which is actually partially the fact. There are a lot of other sources where, they can go to a website or talk to somebody, or, informally they can learn quite a lot of things. And for them, maybe coming to the class or attending a session sometimes may not be that interesting. I'm not talking about all the students. I'm just saying few students. Now, if you look at the vocational classrooms, like in ITIs or NSTI or any of the skill development centers, the practical training and the role of a trainer becomes very, very crucial. Now, this trainer has been trained in certain set of skills. As per, let us say, the trainer has gone through a training in, a training program for vocational trainers. But what happens over a period of time, the technology in the industry changes. Okay, like if you look at logistics industry, or if you look at automotive industry, if you look at these industries, lot of technology is coming in. But is the vocational trainer trained enough to handle these challenges? We don't know. So these are all things which are, gaps in the ecosystem where the teachers can play a very important role. And 21st century classroom is about that. It is about a lot of technology interventions. It's about skills becoming more important, not just the degrees. It is about outcome-based education, where we are going to measure education in the form of learning outcomes. So at the end of a course, is the learner able to do something, whether it is the field of commerce, engineering, or any vocational subject or anything. So in this kind of a system where in India, we need a kind of a framework where we are preparing students to enter the world of work. Because today, if you look at the new education policy, and also last 15 years, there have been a lot of developments in the skilling space. Why are we doing this? We are doing this because we have to make sure that students are equipped to enter the world of work. It is not just academic learning and taking up a job. There should be some kind of a match between what they are learning in colleges and what they're going to take up as a job. That's why we have vocational degree programs, work integrated learning programs in the college level, and so on. So this is the 21st century classroom, which we are going to look at. Now, let me just get started with today's topic. Classrooms during COVID-19, were they like this? I guess they were, right? Please feel free to keep commenting as we continue. That would be nice. Yeah, so classrooms in this time were like this, and during COVID were like this. But did we stop teaching? Did learning stop? No. So we all know the reason. We all know the answer for this. It all was possible because there was technology. And that technology became such a friend for the teacher, such a friend for the trainer, that there was no other way for us but to embrace that technology and, learn and do it the right way with whatever limited infrastructure that was available to us. I'm giving the COVID example because that is a paradigm shift which happened. If you look at the history of technology-enabled education in India, till COVID, it went on at a certain pace, with a certain kind of, I would say, adoption. There were many questions. Many people were questioning, if you use technology, what will happen to the role of the teacher? If you use technology, will the learning be that impactful? Where is the human element in technology? These were the questions which were not helping us really appreciate the value of technology till COVID. The moment we went through the challenges of COVID, I thought we as people from the education and skilling space, we took this challenge and made it into an opportunity and showed to everybody that, look, we teachers, we trainers can beautifully work with technology and make it work for us also. So I'm sure all of you had few ways of, delivering your lessons using technology, virtual classroom, using Zoom or using Google or anything of that kind. Please share your experience as we proceed. Now, if you look at the digital transformation that's happening in education and skill development, today we need not just a typical curriculum. If you look at, for example, any college curriculum, you have the textbooks, you have the practicals. If it is professional courses like engineering, management, etc., you have practicals, you have case studies, you have a certain examination system. If you look at the vocational part in ITIs, you have typical trade-based curriculum, which is followed by practicals in the labs, and also the scope for apprenticeships where the students go to the to the industry and do the apprenticeship. So you see, there are a lot of things that are happening, like in the work-based learning system or in the traditional academic classroom system. So with this, just what is traditional way of doing things will not be enough. So we need innovative combination of teaching techniques and training techniques. We need effective collaboration and outcome-based approach. So when there is a lot of digital transformation, this is becoming very important. Why collaboration, if you ask me? We will not be able to do anything on our own just like that, whether you are one college or one school or one ITI. It is always better to have a collaborative thing, like say the ITIs in Himachal Pradesh can come together, or the ITIs in a particular location in West Bengal can come together. Okay, few universities in a location can come together. So, all these are fantastic things to happen when we are looking at how technology can be used to scale it. Then we need engaging teacher-student connection, because as I told you today, the students are highly distracted. They lack focus. They have their mobile phones in their hands all the time, whether it's a rural area or a semi-urban area or any part of India. Most students have access to phones. So the phones could also be a very distracting thing. Their lives are not like very focused. They get easily distracted. And some students have the pressure of getting on to work as soon as they complete their studies. So they need to work, they need to earn. And some students drop out because of various reasons. So you see, how do we build this very engaging teacher or trainer and student connection through technology? Then motivating and engaging environment, learning environment has to be highly motivating and engaging. So what do we do for that? Otherwise, it's very easy to get bored, right? Many students get bored. And efficient analyzing, measuring, and monitoring of learning. This is definitely possible using technology, and that is where technology plays a very important role. Whether you are offering something through a blended or a hybrid model like a flipped class, or you're doing something through online learning, technology plays a role here. Then secure systems through digital certificates. This is where another area where, for example, you as a university want to move to the online kind of a system and embed a lot of technology in your processes, then you might also think of going for digital certification, right? Which is like a blockchain based certificate. So these are all major transformations that we are seeing today as we move to the 21st century classroom. Now let's look at what students want. What do students want? Students want degrees. Students want jobs, well-paying jobs. They like good placements, but they don't want to work hard in many cases. They want like a smooth life. They don't want to get challenged. I'm talking about most of the students. This is a general kind of impression we have. but we have not understood why the students want this. Is there a way we can transform the way the students are looking at teaching, learning, classroom, etc.? Why do they have this very standard notions that, look, if I do this, if I study this, then I should get a job, I should do this. So the entire process of technical training or academic learning is seen as something that's tied up with a placement, or that is tied up with a well-paying job, or, otherwise, if this is not meeting their expectations, they drop out. There could be, many issues around this. So we have to understand what students want, what teachers and trainers want. When I say teachers, I'm using it as a very generic word for all the professors, senior professors, junior teachers, school teachers, college teachers, and trainers, mostly for the vocational trainers. So what do you want as teachers and trainers? A good professional life, satisfaction with teaching a job, training job, a good compensation and scope for doing research. I mean, there could be many things, right? What you want. So you will have to first analyze these things. And what is that the institution wants? When institution, I say institution, it's the college or the, university or the school with which you are affiliated. The institution has its goals. Like they say, okay, we want to be ranked at this level. Okay, we want this NAC certification, or as an ITI, we want to be one of the model ITIs, let's say ITI in West Bengal or Himachal Pradesh or Tamil Nadu, right? So institution has its own desires and wants. So how do we align these expectations with outcomes? That's the question here. And this is where scaling also plays a very important role. When I am using the word scaling again and again, as I said, it has to be seen as reaching out to more numbers of people. It could be outside the scope of your institution, establishing yourself as a model institution or a model teacher or a model trainer, and if possible, set up a center of excellence in your own institution by showcasing the good work that you have done. So in all these, objectives, there is a role for technology. Then how do we align the expectations? Are all the subjects suitable for technology enablement? This is a very big question. And I came across this question many a times. Incidentally, I have also written a book on e-learning, which was published in 2011, which is 12 years now. And this book, when I was writing this book, I have also done a lot of research to understand, many things about technology enablement in education. So one of the common questions then was, okay, how can you teach history through technology? How can you teach commerce through technology? When I say technology, it is mostly e-learning and online learning. So such questions would always crop up. So are all subjects, connected with this? I mean, are all of them likely to be taught? Are they all suitable for technology? Something we need to understand. Then how do we ensure tests and assessments are secure, safe, and they are fairly done? Again, technology comes here. And do we have the right infrastructure in place? See, often when we talk about technology, when we look at India, again, I'm going on repeating this, that's to just drive the message that we as a country are not equal in every way. If you go to a certain state, let us say, if you go to Northeast India, there are a lot of hilly regions. Maybe there the Wi-Fi doesn't work properly. Maybe there the infrastructure has a lot of issues. So if I'm assuming that my program has to be seen in Mizoram or Arunachal Pradesh the way it is seen in somewhere in Maharashtra, then it may not be correct. So what is the infrastructure which is available? Infrastructure is dependent on the kind of budget somebody has, the kind of geographical location you are in, right? The kind of place, you are operating from. So it is not just like I spend XYZ amount on infrastructure, then I'm assuming that it's all working fine. We need to remember these things when we are looking at technology enablement. Now, the changing ecosystem of teaching learning. So overall, if you look at the ecosystem of teaching learning today, This is again connected with the first presentation, the first session of this webinar, where we were looking at the changes that are coming in with the result of a new education policy or even otherwise. So the changes in the ecosystem at the large level are like, today we say it is there is UGC approval for dual degree programs, like students can do 2 degrees at one time. One can be a traditional, one can be through online. There is a lot of respect and acceptance of flexible multidisciplinary courses. We are talking about flexibility and multidisciplinarity of courses and programs, where, for example, if somebody is doing mechanical engineering, or if somebody is doing, let's say, some vocational program like carpentry or beauty or any of these, there is a possibility that the student should be helped with another course which is close to his or her, let's say, interest. Okay, by interest, I mean, something which is like a hobby. For example, the student is interested in learning graphic design as a hobby, or photography, or maybe just wants to use drones in photography, or somebody is interested in, fashion designing. So there is a need to make them multidisciplinary, and that is also being accepted. At the same time, today we are fine with online and traditional courses. As I told you, COVID is the reason why, during lockdown, we saw that we were accepting many non-traditional forms of learning, including, if I have to just give you an example, I was auditing a course, a program, from Apparel Training Design Center in Delhi. And this course was being offered. They gave me a session just to audit, to understand how the vocational trainer is able to teach some kind of a fashion design at a very basic level using WhatsApp. Just WhatsApp, nothing else. And the students were making the designs, sharing the pictures. The teacher was continuously evaluating. So you see, it would be like a jugaad kind of a thing, which was just the solution then. But we in India, I think, have many innovative ways to be frugal, right? So, and today I think we have shown to the world that even a mission to the moon can be achieved with a lot of cost effectiveness and frugality. So perhaps by nature, we Indians are quite frugal. So that also makes us look at technology as a very cost-effective option, right? And modular open-ended courses, the MOOCs, all these are available today for students and teachers also. The next important point about the changing ecosystem is the teacher education, the FDP, that is faculty development program, or the continuous learning program, for the teachers. So now what happens is here, when the teacher or when the teacher or a university professor or a vocational trainer is undergoing these programs, as and when there is an opportunity, that just adds to a certain point in your career, right? And it also has a direct impact on the entire ecosystem. What I mean by this is, when the faculty is trained, upskilled as per the requirements of the emerging educational ecosystem, then you are actually transforming the way you teach. You are showing to the world that you're a person who's learning continuously. Thereby, you're strengthening the ecosystem. So this is again a very important aspect of the changing system. Today, we are talking about continuous programs for school teachers, for college teachers, and mostly things which can be taken up as your own initiative. And the last important point here for me would be the digital tools for empowerment. So many of them, like I said earlier, most of them are freely available. It could be the social media channels, it could be WhatsApp, it could be the aggregator platforms. When I say aggregator platforms, there are a lot of portals. Like you have Nishta portal, Swayam portal, you have Future Skills Prime portal, right? So these are also places, virtual places where you can learn and also encourage your students to learn. And of course, YouTube. I don't know how many of you are on YouTube. Is anybody using YouTube channel to enhance your impact? Any of you? Whoever is now enrolled here, Dr. Manavalan, Hansa Sharma, Dr. Tankaraj, Sahil Sharma, anyone using YouTube? Deepika? Yeah? Mr. Satish? Yeah, if you are, it will be nice to know how you are using. So YouTube has become one of the most popular channels for the faculty members to have a kind of a virtual presence. Now coming to how technology integration and blending happens today, again, because we are talking about scaling the impact, it could be done through video-based learning, like what we saw during the lockdown and during the COVID challenges. Then the virtual classrooms, how we created those virtual classrooms using even a Zoom kind of a session was becoming a virtual classroom, or it could be through Microsoft Teams, or it could be through Google. So we found the various ways to do that. And then gamification, most important aspect. Gamification is mostly one of the techniques, instructional techniques or instructional strategies that's used to create a lot of interest. Has anybody used gamification? Did you develop any e-learning kind of material, or has anyone come across good example of gamification to increase students' interest and engagement? Please let us know. And gamification also plays a very important role in vocational training, vocational education, because that's very practical. Like, for example, let's assume that in an ITI kind of a setup, you are teaching students about something to do with manufacturing skills. It could be the CNC machine. Okay, you're teaching them about how the CNC machine works, or what is the latest CNC technology. If you gamify that and put it on an online format, the students will be able to enjoy that session more than just playing around with something that is there. So when I give you this example, and when I'm trying to connect it with scaling, let me give you a slightly a bigger example, or a better example. I see that ITI Dharamshala is logged in here. So any ITI for that matter, if you're developing any program or any training material, or using the material which is provided by you, let us say from the NIMI kind of textbooks, or what you have on Bharat portal, Bharat Skills portal, right? So you use that and show them in a practical session, you show them this is a CNC machine. But now if you're putting a few e-learning modules for the ITI students so that they can go on practicing again and again, then the gamified version of that machine will have a better impact. Same thing you can try with welding. You can either show live welding example, or you put up something which is like augmented reality, virtual reality, or the extended reality, where the welding skill is learned, in an immersive way. Or there is also scope for personalized learning, as you know, in most of the e-learning programs today, or blended learning programs. There is a way to personalize as per the students' requirements and choices. Now, one of the skills which we looked at in the last session, when we were looking at the changing role of a teacher or a trainer, was the skill of facilitation. Now, in case you want to become a facilitator, a better facilitator, and use technology, I strongly believe that technology gives you many options to launch yourself, as a very good facilitator, because there are a lot of collaborative tools. There are a lot of ways in which you can innovatively, creatively combine things and start using them. So it can even be, for instance, you're going live on YouTube, let's say. Okay, you want to just get started with some session on YouTube. And then since you're live, you're enabling the chat. So what you could do perhaps as a good facilitator, maybe before you go live, you put some questions, you share some questions with the students. and, make them like the pre-session questions, right? So that they are more focused, they are more directed. The impact of the facilitation session will be more, more useful there than just starting to lecture and, show things. So there can be pre-activities, there can be post-activities, there can be in-between activities. So, I mean, this is all very innovative. It is just left to you how you want to take this forward. Now, let me come to a point here where, I feel we should look at this entire thing about scaling that we are talking about and understand what it means for each one of us. Let's remember that we don't have enough professionally qualified teachers today at whichever level we are looking at. So when, again, teachers could be at the school level, there is a very big challenge. Teachers in the ITIs, the vocational trainers, even university professors for that matter. And the other challenge is that teachers who are joining, most of them may not be trained, or they may not be aware of methodologies, instructional methods, what is the pedagogic science or art behind doing something, right? So these challenges are all there. That's the reason when you use technology and you are able to show to the world through a model classroom or a model session or something like a center of excellence, you are really going to enhance the impact. Now, when we talk about enhancing the impact or scaling the impact, there are these three questions that come to my mind. Is it about access to quality learning when we talk about scaling? Or is it about facilitating learning that leads to employment? Or is it about teachers' own professional development? Yes, any answers? Is it about any of these three? Or is it about all of them? So if you go back and see what we discussed so far, scaling the impact would mean getting into all these three areas, looking at it from all the three lenses and trying to understand how the teaching learning impact can be scaled. Yeah, it's about all of them, right? So we saw this in the last presentation also, where we understood that, technology is always something that brings in a change. When you move from one technology to the other, there is a change. Now, for that change, you either have to upskill yourself, or you have to reskill yourself, or you have to make up your mind that, look, I'm going to take up this change positively and I will create a positive impact in my profession. So basically, it amounts to change management. So every movement in technology is bringing in this. Now, let us look at a certain kind of a framework where we understand technology in three different roles: in teaching, learning, or in training. So for me, the first one would be technology as an enabler. Okay, so when I say it is enabling something, it is helping me, reach out to people. Maybe in the place of a physical classroom setup, I will go online, or I will use the online medium to expand my reach. Okay, for instance, if I am a teacher in a university, then regularly, let's say I am teaching physics. Okay, but if given an opportunity as a teacher of physics, I would like to create few lessons in physics and probably put them in some kind of a LMS or an e-learning kind of a platform, right? Or I might also do some online live sessions where I am able to use technology as an enabler for me to reach out to more people. In other words, I'm scaling up, right? More people are able to see me outside the confines of my college or university. So I am able to reach out to more people and also share my expertise, my knowledge, and engage with more people. And this is what we need today from teachers. Why I'm repeating this is because what happens is when you go to YouTube, for example, mostly, we see things coming from people who may not be a qualified teacher, who may not be a qualified subject expert, who could be doing things randomly. And if such things, goes into the kind of reach of the students, what they do is they pick up those elements and then they learn from there. And they may not be picking up the right knowledge. So it is very important for a qualified, certified, and professional faculty member to take up these initiatives. Second one is technology as a necessity. Like, it happened in the COVID time, right? So technology as a necessity is like, I have to do it. Okay, technology is essential. But it's not just the COVID time. Of course, that phase is over. But today also, technology is equally important. It is a necessity, especially when we want to probably show some practical kind of experiments. We want to demonstrate something practical, like I gave you the CNC machine example, or it could be something to do with, some craft that you are creating as a part of the curriculum at the school level. Now that vocational subjects are getting available in the school level, you might want to show something interesting to the students. So you might use some demo, or do a live session. So there are very many places where instead of just using a printed textbook, you might want to get down to showing a practical thing. But it is not like two should be done parallelly. These two should be integrated very well. So the third one is technology as an enhancer. Technology as an enhancer is something where it is complementing me as a teacher or a trainer, or it is augmenting the experience of the classroom. So basically here, let us say for a very long time, I have been teaching history, or for a very long time, I have been teaching some form of, let's say, some subject in mechanical or civil engineering, or I have been teaching a vocational subject. So what happens is, if you have been teaching the same thing for a very long time, it kind of gets into a template. Now students can know, okay, now this teacher is going to give me this example. I know very well what she's going to tell me now. So instead of that, if I go to technology and maybe use it as something that can help me build new examples, or learn more, and then try to use something innovative. Maybe I create a graphic, or maybe I do something which is quite interesting, or I create a small game or a quiz. These are all small things which enhance my teaching. Or let's say I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching English for a very long time. And I go open the textbook, teach the lesson and do the exercises, come back and then give the test. This routine has to be broken very badly today. Because English is all about communication, right? So I need to make sure that my students learn to communicate well in the classroom, outside the classroom. So what do? I create exercises, I create some interesting things, or at least I go and pick up some things which are here and there on YouTube, on the, maybe online on the web and all, and bring them to the classroom. So that helps me in augmenting the experience of the classroom or complementing me as a teacher. Now let's look at how we do all this. How do we expand the reach? How do we scale up? One easy kind of a tool, or the system, the ecosystem we have around us, is the social media. It is good, I feel, if we use social media in the right way as teachers, trainers. We can not only just keep showing our work and tell people what we are doing, but it also helps us in building a community. It depends on your comfort level, which social media channel you want to use. I would strongly recommend all teachers to come on LinkedIn. I feel LinkedIn is one place where you can have the professional development part. Whereas if you are connecting with your students and maybe the parents, the students and others, then probably Facebook and Instagram would be a very good channel for you. Or of course, as I said, YouTube. So this sharing of stuff, sharing of updates, sharing of pictures. See, that's the culture today we live in. Okay. It may not be suitable to all of us. No, we may not be doing it naturally. It doesn't come naturally to us. But for some reason, it is good. I feel, as a professional thing, it is good to create such communities. And then there are a lot of technologies available. Today, we all talk about AI. I think every newspaper, every day, every news, every media All over the place, we hear about AI and how it is kind of threatening many job roles, or how maybe the teacher's role will be taken over to some extent by a robot. I mean, see, these are all things which are quite sensational, okay? But I don't think all that really happens, because nothing can replace human intelligence, right? Human intelligence is boundless. Artificial intelligence is there to help us. It is there to help us grow. It is there to help us increase our productivity. It can help us improve our efficiency. So all these technologies are there to help teachers. So it depends on the teacher how to use them. It depends on the institution. It depends on the trainer how you want to use them. It could be for better engagement. It could be for monitoring something that you are offering online. It could be for personalizing the experience. It could be for making your content relevant. Relevance is very important, especially when we are talking about work integrated education or skilling or vocational education, because most of these courses are job oriented and they have to align with the industry. So we cannot be talking about a combustion type of engine when we are teaching automotive related skills, when most of the technology is moving towards electric vehicles, right? The same thing applies to other sectors also. So we have to move with the industry. That means the relevance of the content is important. And also the security of the data, how secure is it? How much of your data is shareable? How much of it is, things which are just voluntarily given away to people. All these issues are also things which we need to look at. And that is where these technologies play an important role. When I'm repeating this, I don't mean to say that each teacher should do a course in AI, ML or big data. No, I think depending on your role, if you are a engineering college professor and teaching computer science and other things, I'm sure you're an expert already. But for teachers who are from non-technical subjects, a course is very essential. But this course can be just for learning what it's all about. We don't have to sit and do the coding, but we should know what is the benefit of AI, what exactly is big data, what exactly is machine learning, or what exactly is cybersecurity, right? Or what exactly is blockchain. So how does it work? Or how does robotics work? How does the intelligent part in robotics work? We are not going to sit and do the technical part, but we should know what it is and how it works. And then we understand how it can be applied. Another important aspect of scaling is blending it right. When you're offering blended learning courses, it's important to have the right blend. You should know what can go in the online format and what can be given in the physical classroom session. It's very, very crucial. Sometimes you might say 40% of my course will go online or 60% will be classroom or vice versa, depending on the subject and the outcomes. Planning is absolutely essential. We saw this last week also. Without proper planning, technology will not work the way we want it to work, because all said and done, you might have the best of the infrastructure in your college or at home, but you never know how things will work in the last minute. So you should always have a plan B. You might be very well prepared, but then something will go wrong, right? And I'm sure it happened to you. It has happened to me as well many a times. Then access is important. Access to technology and also the devices which we are expecting people to have. Now, for example, if you are a teacher or a trainer in an ITI, let's say in a district where you don't have a lot of technology support and the devices are also not so modern, then the approach to technology enablement has to be different. So you can't be thinking about very advanced technology there. Maybe the students have a smartphone, but the smartphone may not be that advanced. You are expecting the students to access something from a smartphone. The student might be accessing a smartphone which is used by all the other family members, right? So there are a lot of other issues which come in here. So we have to keep this in mind. And implementation is the key. Ideas are always there. The crux of the matter, the secret to success is the implementation. How very well you are planning and implementing, and then replicability. Let's say something has been achieved in Himachal Pradesh. At least to some extent, can this also be achieved in Haryana or in Karnataka? Some experiment or some kind of a innovative practice you come up with. So this replicability is something that helps us in scaling. Then comes the design and delivery of a program. Now let's assume as an institution, your college or university or school is taking the initiative to come up with something which is like a complementary program in addition to the textbooks, because you feel the textbooks are not enough. You need to complement it, supplement it. Then what do? You decide that, okay, for this subject, I'm going to add few modules, and these modules are based on virtual classroom sessions, or they are based on YouTube videos, or they are based on some animated elements, or they are based on some kind of a gamified object that you're using. So you need to know a bit about instructional design and also assessments and how to conduct practical sessions using these virtual kind of tools. So basically, an awareness about these things is very important, and if possible, a hands-on experience also. If you ask me, what I'm trying to emphasize is through all these slides, one is the technology adoption. Second one is embracing technology positively, befriending technology and accepting it as a fact of life. When we have accepted many things in our general day-to-day things, like we use, so many payment gateways or so many things, why not make them a part of our teaching and learning schedule also? So that is what it is. And along with this, there is no other solution than continuous learning. Continuous learning, working hard, trying, failing. It's not always a success. Failing and then overcoming or becoming successful and replicating. So you see, this could be the process. Now let's look at the second part of this thing which we just discussed. So when we talk about scaling the impact, how do we know that the learning experience was engaging, effective, efficient? Any answers to this? So thank you for sharing your views, Dr. Manavalan. It's very nice to know. I'm just reading them. It would be nice if you can also, tell us more about these points that we are discussing. So how do we make sure, or how do we know that a learning experience was effective, efficient, and engaging? Okay, engaging as in, it should engage the students, all of them. Yeah, but I'm asking you, how do you know that it is engaging? How do you know that it is effective? How do you know that if it is efficient? No doubt we need all the three, but we should know what is engaging. Engaging means what? Is it motivating the students? Are we able to have their motivation levels high? Are they interacting with us? Okay, is the kind of content that is given to them interactive, or are we just preparing them for taking some test? What is engaging? Is it matching their learning styles? Is it like we are giving them more options to learn in different ways? Effective could be, is it giving the results that we want? Is it kind of giving me the outcomes that we want from that particular learning experience? Efficient could be, for example, the resources, the time. Okay, are we saving on time? Are we using the resources wisely? Right? So on all these parameters, we kind of define or decide on the success of tech-enabled learning. So these, you can say, are the parameters. Now moving on to the last part of this presentation. When we talk about technology, technology-enabled scaling, etc., first thing that comes to our mind is edtech solutions. So today we are surrounded with edtech solutions everywhere, right? We have so many platforms, we have so many products in the market. We have MOOCs, we have free platforms, we have a lot of things. But I think it is not just having platforms. If you're buying a solution, or if you're subscribing to something, if there is a budget involved, I think a lot of research needs to be done. A lot of analysis has to be done before you purchase something, understanding your requirements, if the solution is fitting into that. Right? Or you could always go and look at a lot of free, content is there, like the Salman Khan Academy, right? The most famous, the oldest of the platforms, which is so inspiring, the lessons which are available. Or we have the Swayam portal. Most of it is also free. Okay, so you might have to look at the best edtech solution. Then also understand the challenges. That's what I was talking about. There could be few challenges in adopting this, or in making your students go through this. Is it being made compulsory, or is it just given like a nice to have feature in your college, and things like that? And then what are the opportunities it is creating? What is the attitude basically of students or teachers towards such online programs? Is it like, okay, I'm giving the same kind of importance and seriousness to an online program? So these are all the questions we should look at, and of course the cost effectiveness and the benefits. Now the one of the examples I thought which I can give you, since I saw that we have registrations from ITIs and also colleges, engineering colleges. One of the technologies which is going to create a big impact and also disrupt learning and teaching in the coming years is AR, VR, XR, which is augmented reality, virtual reality, extended reality, and also going up to metaverse and artificial intelligence. The combination of these two is going to really disrupt many things that we are talking about today. And also the way it is going to disrupt, I think, will be across various disciplines and subjects. Okay, so I think it is always good to check what kind of learning is happening through this extended reality. Basically, I'm talking about immersive learning. So today what happens is, when I see a picture, as you know, I just see a picture. There's a picture and I'm just looking at it. When I'm looking at a video, yeah, I know how it is all happening. But when I'm looking at an immersive video, I'm a part of that system, right? That's why it's immersive. So that will have the most impact for me, right? So it is like the most impact is, like we say, if you see, you learn a certain percentage, but if you really perform and you try and you really do it, then you are learning in much more effective way. So here what is needed now is the approach has to be different in technology enabled learning. We need more flexibility, in the kind of curriculum that we are creating. The accessibility part has to be kept in mind, especially for students who have a certain, let's say, disabilities and all that. If somebody is low on hearing, if somebody can't see properly, maybe the vision is not all that perfect. So there could be reasons for students, right, to everybody may not be at the same level. So you have to keep the accessibility feature in mind. And then, of course, the quality of the content, there can't be any compromise on the quality of the content, and also keeping the global standards in mind. And then the experience of the learning program, it has to be learner-centered completely, keep the learner in mind with some kind of analysis of the learners. And then, of course, design the learning experience in such a way that it meets the learner's requirements. And if it is a vocational or an ITI kind of a program, we have to make sure that it is helping the learners in getting a job, or in whatever reason for which these students are picking up the trade-based program. And I'm sure most of you who are watching this either on YouTube live, by the way, we are live on YouTube. So if anybody wants to share the link, please do that. And this will remain on YouTube. This session will remain on YouTube. So like Dr. Manavalan was just asking, this session is already there on YouTube. So the PPT is visible to everyone. The presentation is there. Okay, so here what I'm saying is that, the kind of experience that we create has to be really focused on the learner. And while we do that, the teacher also in the process learns a lot. And then the mechanism also has to be friendly towards giving feedback and also measuring the learning outcomes which were listed and design it as per the learning outcomes. Then this is mostly pertaining to the teacher development part, where I think the need for collaboration, research, innovation, and networking is absolutely crucial today. And this is where technology plays a very important role. Today, it's very easy for us to collaborate from India with Australia or Singapore or any country for that matter, it is also feasible, in a way to conduct research across countries or across locations. Because Zoom has shown us how easily we can do it, or Google has shown us how easily we can connect with people in a live environment as well. And there is a need for coming up with innovative models. And also, like I said in my last presentation, networking is absolutely essential, and that is the way to handle the 21st century classroom. So if you want to look at the third part of scaling the impact, I would like to know what has been your recent or the latest exploration in using technology for teaching learning. Did you use any recent tool, or was there any technology that you learned, or any new methodology that you were trying to learn? Please share your responses. That is because we feel that it is always the personal initiatives which play a very important role. You as a teacher, if you are really motivated and you are looking at things in an excited way, all that excitement gets conveyed to the students also. So this is very crucial. So before I close this, following this, I'll just show you a couple of websites. So please stay on for that. I just want to give you a very short demo after the presentation. So before we close, maybe you can reflect on this and send us a short write-up on this. What is the emerging image or a role of a teacher or a trainer? Is it getting blended with a counselor, a mentor, a guide, or a coach? Yes or no? Please share your views in the form of a short write-up and send it to us. We also have created a WhatsApp group. As you know, you can even share your write-up in the WhatsApp group. We'll be very happy to publish this on our website. And how does technology help in taking up these roles? If you feel that the teacher's role or the trainer's role is changing from being a teacher or a trainer or a facilitator to something larger, which could be a big, an element of counseling, an element of mentoring or guiding or coaching is also becoming a part of your role, please tell us. It would be really exciting to know more. And now, since Teachers' Day is approaching very fast, we have also come up with some other initiatives. So I'll just tell you more about it. Yeah, there is a response from Mr. Satish encouraging the subordinate for online learning or of data analysts from Simply Learn. Okay, that's very interesting. So yeah, I'm sure most of you are into these things. It is just that with this presentation, we thought, we will bring everything together and consolidate it. So just stay on as I go to the website and show you a few things right now. Let's just go to the website. Yeah, just give me a second. So I'm sharing my screen and yeah, I hope you're able to see my screen. In case you're not, please let me know. We have come up with a Teachers' Day quiz, which is available as a link in the YouTube live. Where you go to the YouTube live session, in the description, there is a link to this quiz. I would be happy if you take this quiz and also share it with your colleagues. So this is on the occasion of Teachers' Day. It's interesting and it might be quite thrilling for you to take up this quiz. So this is from our team. That's one thing which I wanted to share with you. And then whenever you have time, do browse our website. We regularly publish a lot of stories, updates, interviews, and recent latest developments in the ecosystem of work integrated learning. So that would be nice. We also have the e-magazine, which is sent out every fortnight. You can also share an article with us. You can tell us about the initiatives which are happening in your institution. That would be nice to know. And then, of course, I just thought that I will show you just a second. Yeah, a few portals. This, I'm sure you know about this. The Swayam portal, which has a lot of content which can be used for students and for teachers. And also the focus on skilling is also projected here. So I guess you're already using this. Yeah. And then there is this CSTARI, which is for the vocational teachers, for the ITI trainers. This is again another important, website which you can look at. And then these, NSTIs, like ITIs, we have the NSTIs. So even there you have a lot of programs happening. In the vocational setup, I don't think many things are online, but there is always a scope to create online. I do see quite a few courses for the students on Bharat Skills portal. Now, one more, since we are talking about technology, another portal that I would like to show you all is the NASSCOM Future Skills Prime portal, where you have quite a few free courses also. And some of the courses are meant for people who are into non-technical subjects. So this is also one place where perhaps you can go and check if there's any course that you want to take up as a teacher. This might be helpful for you. So these are few things which I thought I will show you today. And just a second. Yeah, so with that, I come to the closure of this presentation, but I hope you are able to see the screen. But then it would be nice if you can share feedback or your views, because we still have about 5 minutes to go. Yeah, any observations, any points that you wish to share with us? Okay, thank you so much for attending the session. It would be nice to keep in touch with you. So look forward to updates from us. And as I said, participate in the quiz. And I wish you all a very happy Teachers' Day in advance. And we would be really, we'll be really happy to, as I said, know more about how you're pursuing your dreams as a teacher or a trainer.